Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a fun little video. We're going to be doing kind of a focused brand full face. We're going to be doing the ShopMissA, specifically the AOA brand. I do have a couple of products in here that are not part of AOA, but pretty much everything is part of the AOA Studio brand. Some of the products I have already been using, so they're not new, but a lot of the products are first impressions, so you're going to see them used for the first time on camera and kind of see how they perform and, kind of get my thoughts on it. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, I'm back. I've already prepped my skin. I've done my moisturizer, eye cream, all that jazz. The only thing I haven't done is primer. I thought that I ordered the primer and a setting spray when I made my AOA order. I went back and double checked my order just to make sure, but apparently I didn't. I got everything but that. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my skin with my matte oil control primer right here. The first thing we're gonna do is foundation. This is the AOA foundation drops. I've used these before. I went ahead when I made this order and got one that was a little bit deeper though, because the one that I already have, it's like just a little bit too light. So I got this in kind of a tan kind of a shade. We're going to be using the Mochi Wonder Blender, a little face sponge. This is only $1.88. I also have another one that I've been using. So this is not my first time using this one either. A lot of the products in here, like first impression. I've never used them before, but the foundation, the sponge, well, that may be it. I think everything else is first impressions. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the foundation drops. I might end up having to put my hair up a little bit. It's kind of getting in the way, but what I do is I take the foundation drops and I literally just kind of drop it on my face where I want it to go. And then I'll take the sponge and I will just kind of blend everything in and then add more drops, as needed. So I'm gonna take the sponge. I love the sponge. It is so soft and so bouncy. And like I said, this sponge was only $1.88. So we're gonna go in to the skin and we're just gonna bounce the drops in, and then we'll add more drops as needed. What I really like about this foundation is that it is very, very skin-like. When you put it on, it blends right into the skin, looks very, very smooth, very natural. And like I said, most importantly, it's very, very skin-like. All right, now we're going to move on to concealer. This is the AOA Studio Liquid Concealer. This is actually from their Paw Paw brand. This is a special one. I think that the funds from this one get donated to an animal rescue center. I have to go back and double check and make sure. But this is also a product that I've already been using, and this concealer is just really, really nice. It's lightweight, but it covers, pretty well. Kind of does the trick. I just take it and I dot it in there. Usually I do my Becca under eye corrector before I do a concealer, but I kind of wanted you guys to kind of see what this concealer looks like without the corrector. Now I do find with the corrector I get a little bit more coverage because this concealer is kind of lightweight, but even without the corrector I get a pretty decent amount of coverage, and it does blend out really, really well into the skin and into the foundation. The coverage is really, really nice. And once you've done all your makeup and you blend everything else in, I like to take some of the extra and kind of go over the top of my lip and on my chin and kind of up in here. It kind of helps to bring a little bit of light to the center of the face. But as you can see, it does a pretty decent job of covering up the under eye darkness, even without my Becca corrector. And this concealer, this was $1. The foundation was $1.88. This was $1. So between the foundation and concealer, I only paid $2.88 for some, really, really awesome products. Next, we're going to move into powder. Now, both of these I bought two. I bought a loose powder. This is the loose setting powder in banana. And then I also got the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Press Powder. This is in honey. I went ahead and I kept the plastic on this. I wanted to show you guys this. One of the things that I really liked about the way that the package came, every item was covered and sealed in the plastic wrap. You just peel it right off. Which was nice because basically that means that nothing was going to accidentally open in shipping, and then everything was wrapped and sealed in tape. So that was really nice. Now, normally I'm a loose powder girl, so usually I don't really use a whole lot of pressed powder. Normally I just use loose powder. I'm trying to get the little plastic cover on the inside, but I may go ahead and try both. I may do the setting powder, the loose powder all over, and then maybe put the pressed powder in some of my little pore areas. But let's give it a try and see. First, I'm going to take the powder. I'm actually going to take a little bit and kind of tap it into the cap. Kind of helps you, you know, helps get the right amount of powder that you need. And then I'm going to take it, and I like to use my sponge whenever I use a loose powder. Just kind of press it in. This is my first time using this powder. So far, I mean, it's very soft. It's blending right into the skin really, really nicely. I'm liking that. Putting it around my nose. I'm gonna have to tap a little bit more in there just to kind of get my forehead area and my temples and stuff. So right up here. I like when I have time like this to just kind of relax and take my time and playing with new makeup. This is blending so nicely into the skin. It is like really, really kind of helped to blur the skin. I'm impressed. So we've done the AOA Studio Perfect Loose Setting Powder all over the face. This is the one in banana. Now we're going to take the finishing press powder, same Perfect Studio brand, and we're going to press that into the pore area here, into the forehead, basically my T-zone area, and kind of see what that's like. I'm going to use my e.l.f. It's a highlighting brush, but I like to use this one for, you know, powder stuff. When it comes to brushes, you know, it may say one thing on the brush, but you can pretty much use a brush for whatever you want to use it for. So I'm going to go into that. I'm going to tap off the excess, and we're just going to press that into the pore area. This is going on very, very silky. Wow, that's really, really nice. And, you know, since it's a pressed powder, there's also a little bit of coverage. Let's do the brows next. This is the AOA Studio Sculpting Brow Pencil in dark brown. This is my first time actually using this type of a pencil. On one end, you have a spoolie, which is like, you know, you normally see that on most brow pencils. But this one, this is twist up, and it has a, as you can see, it's angled at the top. I've never used a pencil like this. Usually I just use a regular pencil that you kind of sharpen. So this is going to be new for me. This might take a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and start and see, you know, what I can do. Hopefully the shading is right. And like I said, I've never used a pencil like this, so wish me luck. And then I'm kind of like drawing in, just filling it in, taking the tip, kind of like fill in this little area on the inside here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All right, right off the bat, I will say I am not thrilled with this pencil. I'm finding it hard to go on. It's not really going on very smooth. And I'm taking it and just kind of like going, you know, just kind of flicking it to try to get the little hairs. But I don't know, it's something about the way that this pencil is shaped. It's just not going on as smooth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other brow offline and then come back and we'll continue on with our makeup. But yeah, right off the bat, I'm not thrilled with this pencil. Brows are done. I ended up just grabbing my go-to in-studio pencil to kind of finish filling it in. This was just not doing the trick. I don't know if it's because of the angle tip on the end of it. I don't know, but I was having a very, very difficult time with this one. But let's move on. The next thing that I got is an eyeshadow primer. This is the AOA Perfect eyeshadow primer. A lot of the stuff that I got was from the AOA Perfect line. You know, my go-to primer is my Juvia's Place concealer, which I absolutely love to use as an eyeshadow base. So this is something new. I've never tried this one before, so this is the first impressions. It came in 3 shades. So I got like the darkest one. Ooh. Right off the bat, this, I'm having a hard time just even getting enough product out of the tube. I'm gonna try shaking this up just a little bit and see if that makes a difference. Nope, not really. This actually reminds me of the eyeshadow primer that came in the In Studio collection, that I showed you in my In Studio video that I didn't really like. It's kind of oily and stuff. This one basically feels like the exact same type of formula, so not too excited about that. There's no coverage. It's kind of oily, but hopefully the eyeshadows will lay down on it pretty well. I bought 2 eyeshadow palettes. This is the Zuri Flawless Metallic eyeshadow palette, and I got this one because of some of these really pretty metallic shades that are in it, like this little shade of green here, and this purple and this pink. These 3 shades right here were really what kind of caught my attention. And let's go ahead and give it a quick swatch. This is that green shade. It's really pretty. So that's that green shade. Now let's do this kind of a metallic purple. They are blending like very, very creamy in the palette. That's pretty. Now let's do this kind of a silvery. Oh man. These are very, very creamy. That is nice. Look at that. So pretty. The second eyeshadow palette, this is called Santee Sunshine Collection eyeshadow palette. And I got this one because of these really pretty kind of just nice springtime shades in there. You have a purple and you have that orange and that beautiful kind of yellow shade there. The only thing about these 2 palettes is that both of them are kind of, shimmery. So basically I'm going to attempt kind of a shimmery look, which I don't normally do. But the matte palettes that I really, really wanted, they were all sold out. So I just went ahead and grabbed these. This is going to be kind of tough because a lot of these are like deeper, darker, metallic shades. But I'm going to start off with this kind of a grayish silver right there. And then just kind of go from there. It's kind of hard because there are no neutral shades to start off with as kind of a blending transition shade to blend everything into. So this might be quite the look. But let's go ahead and get started and see what we end up with. And I'm going to start off, tap into this little shade here. We're getting a decent amount of pigment onto the brush, and I'm just going to kind of lay that down in here. I think I started off with just a little bit too much, so we're just going to kind of tap that in because I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but that's kind of my fault. I went like ham right into it, but right to the eyelid and using a tap off and kind of went a little bit too heavy, but looks really nice. Blending in very, very pretty. Decent amount of pigment. This shadow is going on effortlessly. I have such a hard time saying that, but very smooth. It's not taking any kind of work or anything to blend it. It's just going right on. Very, very pretty shade to start off with. Just kind of flipping my brush over to the clean side on the back and just kind of blending it in just a little bit. Usually I start off with a lighter neutral shade and then I work my way into a darker shade. So this is a little bit different for me, but it's not bad. It's a nice start. Next, I think I'm going to go into this kind of a deeper purple shade right here. Maybe take that into the green, and then we'll go into the Santee palette and kind of bring in that orange and that yellow from that palette. I'm taking my brush and I'm tapping right into the darker shade here. Now I'm going to take that and I'm actually going to tap it off, maybe so that we don't get as much onto the eye as we did with that first shade. I tell you, it is not taking much at all. I'm just barely tapping into it. I'm just working it into that crease area to kind of see if we could just deepen it up on the ends there. Now we're going to tap into that green shade right here. I'm just tapping that right there in the middle of the eye. So far, for a pretty much, basically a shimmer look here with no real mattes in it, it's actually coming out pretty nicely. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This is one of my BH Cosmetics brushes and just kind of blend out the edges on the top just a little bit. Just to kind of smoke that out on the top. Next, we're going to go into the Santee palette. I want to pull in this orange and this yellow, taking my flat brush and just kind of dipping it into that yellow shade. Once again, nice, decent amount of pigment. I'm going to lay that right in here. Just blend that right into that green. Taking that all the way into that inner corner. So basically we're taking that into the inner part of the eyelid, but we're also kind of making that our inner corner highlight, just to kind of bring a little light to the center of the face. Next, you're going to take kind of a pencil brush here, and we're going to dip into that orange, and we're going to take that under the lower lash line. I'm starting from the corner and blending all the way into the lower lash line here. Sometimes a shadow doesn't work very well when you try to blend it into the lower lash line, but this one is doing really, really well. It's not tugging, it's not pulling. I'm getting a decent amount of pigment. And just because I'm trying to use as many of these shades as possible, I'm going to go ahead and take this lighter baby blue and take that into that area. And we're just laying that blue right here in the inner corner area. And as far as the shadow, I think we're done. Let's go ahead and move into the liner. I got the AOA Studio Buttercream Gel Liner. You know, I really liked that gel liner that I used from ColourPop, so I decided to, see what this formula is like. Normally I use a liner ink pen, but I'm trying to get into the gel liners a little bit more and kind of get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to take a little kind of a thin liner brush here, take it into the jar. So we're just going to take it and lay it down right here, right along the lash line. It's very, very pigmented and it's going on pretty smooth. I'm not really having much of an issue with it. Just going to kind of take that out just a little bit to the other corner. I might take another brush and kind of smoke it out. All right, I'm going to take this kind of an angled brush here, and I think I want to just kind of smoke it out just a little bit. For mascara, I decided to try something different than what I'm used to. It's a lash fiber and a pre-lash. So basically you have this kind of an eyelash primer. You put that on your lashes first. It's supposed to kind of thicken them. And then you take the regular mascara, which is right here. These are like lash fibers, and you put them over the primer, and it's supposed to give you really thick, nice, full lashes. I'm going to go ahead and give my lashes a curl. I'm going to give those a try. I've never used a lash primer and lash fibers before, so I really have no idea what to expect. I'm not even sure if I'm actually going to use it right, but hopefully this will go well. So first, we're going to put on the pre-lash primer. Coating the lashes. It's adding a little bit of thickness, but not a whole lot. It actually feels kind of dry in the tube. I'm not sure if it's supposed to feel that way or not. Because like I said, I've never used a lash primer before, but it is going on kind of dry. I feel like I'm not really even getting much product out of this tube. All right, so we've done the pre-lash. Now let's move on to the fibers. It's weird because first of all, this brush looks like it's kind of messed up. You see that there? And I see little fibers hanging off the end. I don't know if that's actually the fibers that are supposed to go on your lashes and that's what it's supposed to look like. I have no idea. So let's just see. This could go really, really bad. All right, I'm trying to do the fibers. I mean, it literally feels like fabric or something. Okay, this is not going well. This is not even like hanging on to the lash. Like, you see that? I was just like, I'm trying to put it on my lash. It's just flaking off. Yeah, I don't know if this is just old or if that's the way it's supposed to feel, but it's extremely dry. Like, it's not wet at all. It's hard to, gauge because I've never used lash fibers before, so I'm not sure exactly how they're supposed to feel. But I'm pretty sure that they're not supposed to be this dry. If you guys have ever used like a pre-lash or, fiber lash mascara, drop a comment down in the comment section. Just let me know like what the formula was like. So, because I'm not sure if this is how this is supposed to feel at all. It's just really weird. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that down. That's just not really doing much of anything at all. It's just flaking off all over my face. Let's go ahead and move on to lashes. This is the AOA Studio. These are the Carolina Black Lashes. It says it's 100% natural hair. I don't believe it's animal hair though, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. Most of their stuff is cruelty free, but I'll have to look these up just to be positively sure. But these are actually the lashes that kind of go onto the corners. One thing about these videos is I'm trying to, get out of my comfort zone and try new products I have never used before. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay my lash glue down. One little tip when it comes to doing lashes is to make sure that you do let the adhesive dry just a little bit so that it gets tacky. If you put it straight from the lash right to your eye, and after you put the glue on, it's just gonna be, wet and slippery and move around. So you wanna wait until the glue dries and gets tacky just a little bit before you put it on. All right, now let's try to apply these lashes. I am no expert at doing this. I am still learning how, but I'm going to set it down right onto the lash line and then take my fingers and press the lashes together against my lashes. That's nice. You see how that just kind of stands out on the corner? I'm going to have to try these more often. This is pretty. I got two different blush formulas. I went ahead and I got, this is the AOA Perfect Blush. This is a powder formula. And this is the AOA Studio Hush Cream Cheek Blush. I have never used a cream blush before, so I thought, it'd be kind of neat to try this. But as you can see, this is very, very, very pigmented. I'm going to try this with my finger first and just kind of tap this on and see how it goes. If I'm not liking it, then I'll do the powder brush. Then I'll do the powder blush. I may just go ahead and put this over the cream blush, but let's just see. So I'm going to take a clean finger. I'm going to tap into it just a little bit, and then we're going to lay that down onto the cheeks and just see how well it blends. I'm also like blending it over foundation and powder, so that might affect it, but we'll see. And like I said, I have never used a formula. That's a cream formula. Usually I'm into powders, but that's actually going on really nice. It looks really, really pigmented in the pan, but it's actually very, very light on the skin. It looks really natural. It's just giving me this really nice, pretty, soft flush of color, like just blending so beautifully into the skin. It's just so pretty. Now, just because I'm curious about the powder formula as well, I'm going to go ahead and take just a little bit of the Perfect Powder Blush and barely tap it in over the cream blush. This is very pigmented in the jar as well, but I'm just barely tapping it onto the brush. Now, like I said, we're just going to lightly tap this over the cream blush and see what happens. Now, that's definitely a lot more pigmented. Ooh, look at that. Kind of getting a kind of a clown effect going. That's not the fault of the blush. The blush is actually going on very, very nicely. I just I laid it on top of a cream blush, so I'm sure that had something to do with it. I'm gonna have to take a big powder brush and maybe go into my pressed powder and just kind of see if we can tone this down just a little bit. Be right back. I'm taking a little bit of my pressed powder here and just kind of tapping it into the blush to see if we can just kind of tone down that color just a little bit. Okay, that's much better. Taking that down just a notch. For highlight, I got, this is the AOA Studio Velour Highlighter. I think this one was a cream. Let me swatch that just to make sure, because I'm not, yep, this one was a cream one. See, this one. See, it's a cream highlighter. Just swatch that right here. Oh yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty icy. The other one is, this is the AOA Studio Perfect. This is a pressed highlighter. Let's go ahead and give that one a quick swatch too. It's very nice and silky in the pan. I'm going to put that right here, right underneath where I like the cream. That's pretty. It's kind of like a rose gold. So the question is, do I want to attempt a cream highlighter or do I want to do the powder? Of course, you know, powder, that's my go-to formula. Yeah, I went kind of wild with the cream blush and then the blush over it, but hey, you know, this is a full face trying out new product. So I'm going to take my finger and just tap into the cream velour highlighter and just kind of press that, just tap that over the top of my cheekbones. It's going on very, very icy. And I think I'm going to take a little bit and maybe put it on the inner corner of my eyes. My eyeshadow too, like maybe right in there. But just a little bit on my nose and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. I'm going to take my highlighting brush and the pressed highlighter, and I'm going to take it and just tap it just ever so slightly. And kind of see how that looks over the powder, over the cream. Okay, that's got a lot of pigment. That's very, very icy. But that's blending really nicely. It's giving a nice little glow. Now, normally, you know, I do my makeup. I'm not going to put a cream on and then put a powder on over it, but I wanted to give as many of these products a try as I could, and that's so pretty. That powder highlighter blended in so smooth. Ooh, I like that. Last thing we have is lips. I got this is the Wonder Lip Liner. This is in the shade Famous. It's just a kind of a bricky, corally kind of red shade there. And then I got the Wonder Matte Liquid Lipstick. This one is in Famous. So I made sure, so as you can see, I got the matching lip liner and the liquid lipstick. This is my first time using this formula, but ooh, it smells so good. Ooh, that's nice. Just lining lips real quick with this Wonder Matte lip pencil. It's going on pretty smooth, pretty pigmented. It's not pulling or tugging or anything. Now we're going to try out this Wonder Matte liquid lipstick. I like the doe foot. It's going on really smooth. I'll let it dry, and right off the bat, definitely not sticky. We'll go ahead and do the kissing of the hand now. Ah, look at that. See? It's not drying. Feels really, really nice on the lips. I'm going to give my face a quick spray with my Slay All Day setting spray. This is from Gerard Cosmetics. I'm going to go ahead and use this spray to just give myself a little bit of spritz here. All right, let's do a quick price breakdown of all the items I got so you can kind of see how much they cost individually and then how much they cost added up together. The first thing is the Carolina Black 100% natural eyelashes. I'm wearing them right now. I went ahead and I looked it up on my laptop right now because I wanted to make sure, because it said that they're natural lashes, but they're human hair lashes, so they were not tested on animals. So yes, they are cruelty-free. Lip liner, liquid lipstick, they were $1 each. The Banana Loose Setting Powder and the Pressed Powder, they were $1 each. The Velour Cream Highlighter and the Pressed Highlighter, $1 each. The Hush Cream Blush and the Perfect Powder Blush, both of these are $1 each. I realized I didn't give the shade names. The Hush Cream Blush is in Charm, and the Powder Blush is in Kindle. AOA Studio Highlighters, they were also $1 each. The Pressed Powder, which is Lavish, I realize I forgot to give these shade names too. This is $1, and the Velour Cream Highlighter. This is also $1, and this is called Lucky. The foundation drops and the concealer. The concealer's $1. The foundation drops were $1.88. The eyeshadow primer, the eyebrow pencil, and the buttercream gel liner, they were $1 each. Both eyeshadow palettes, the Zuri palette, as well as the Santee Sunshine Palette. These were also $1 each. The Hyper Lash Pre-Lash Duo, this was $2. My total price for everything, as far as the subtotal, was $17.88. When I made this order, ShopMissA was having their $1 shipping sale where any order over $5 was $1. So $17.88 was a subtotal with the $1 shipping, $18.88. So I got all of this stuff for less than $20. But if you like the video, be sure to give it a like. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit subscribe, tap on notifications so that you'll be notified of some upcoming videos that will be coming up in the future. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.